All right, today I'm going to go over the reverse hyper, and regardless of the machine, the execution is pretty much the same, okay? So keeping this in mind is the primary reason why I definitely want this to be done. It can be done on back day, it can be done really on any day. I do this most days, actually. The goal for this exercise, folks, is not to see how much weight you can move. I mean, that's kind of my goal for a lot of things, but I really want to emphasize this in this particular exercise. Because again, what we're trying to do for this particular exercise is build up the size and strength of your spinal erectors that are in your lumbar, okay? So many common lower lumbar herniation strains like the L4, L5, all those sort of things. There's so many common injuries to that area. So, right, what we're trying to do is build the muscle, okay? So rep range and all those sort of things, it's in the programs. But as far as, again, the execution of this is what I want to do is completely stabilize the spine, laying down on this, right? I'm gonna reach out, and this one particularly has handles that I'll be able to grasp and flex my lats to further stabilize the rest of my spine. What's moving is my pelvis with my legs, right? The pelvis isn't locked in and me only moving my legs, right? That's kind of what the RDL is, right? This one is where the pelvis, you can't do it unless I'm on here, the pelvis is moving with the legs, okay? So I'll get up here, I'm gonna grasp this machine, flex my lats. What I'm also going to do from the foot standpoint, okay, I don't want the feet drifting and moving around too much, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my toes to my shin and pull them together, right? It's also okay, again, just like leaving the ground, I can point my toes and bring them together as well. What I suggest is trying them both and seeing which one you're most comfortable with, okay? So it's really just kind of easiest for me to get up here and kind of go through it because the movement itself really explains the exercise best, okay? So this one in particular is pretty easy to get into. I have attached a little band to it because it eliminates some of the excess swinging that I don't want. And like I said, there's only 40 pounds on this, okay? Because the goal is to fatigue the spinal erectors, okay, in a safe position. That's what we're trying to do with this guy, okay? Like I said, this one's got some handles. I'm gonna reach out, you know, even if you can't see it, necessarily the handles, but once I get, again, see, my spine is supported, my pelvis is not resting, right? If I'm too high, right, my pelvis can't tilt, and now I'm putting more stress on my hamstrings than I want. So I'm gonna let my pelvis come off this, right? I'm gonna have to really like I'm going number 2. I'm squeezing my abs to support, right, on this pad, plus my spine. I'm gonna flex my lats down, and again, I'm gonna start off with a nice gentle swing to get it up to the height I want, okay? For me, I'm gonna pull my toes to my shin, okay, and push my feet together. And here I am moving my pelvis with my legs, okay? Pelvis with my legs. I'm not trying to hold it at the top, okay? What I'm actually using is I'm letting the pendulum motion, okay? What I'm doing is I'm letting the pendulum motion, right, with control. I'm not just kicking and then letting my legs swing. I'm under a constant state of tension, right? It's varying, of course, but what I'm doing is I'm letting my natural pendulum create natural, safe traction in that lower spine, right? Because again, these erectors here, just like your hamstring, they elongate and they shorten, elongate and shorten. So I'm letting these spinal erectors elongate as my feet come under, and then I'm shortening as I come back up. You know, one of the things that you're gonna feel, and it's totally okay, is you're gonna get some glute fatigue, you're gonna get some hamstring fatigue as well, okay? And that's also why we don't wanna have heavier weight, because what's gonna be happening is, if this weight is too heavy, the big boys are gonna come and take over. The glutes and the hamstrings will then compensate, and the lower lumbar won't get the work it needs. So we actually wanna stay fairly light, So you can be conscious that you're actually contracting and relaxing that lower lumbar, right? Think about all those times we've squatted or whatever else, and you're like, you get out from the rack like, man, my lower back is so tired, it's like almost in spasm. This exercise is the exercise that we will use to minimize that spasming, to create real strength and hypertrophy in the lower back, especially in the topical environment. I think that this exercise it could be utilized most days of the week, okay? It's fantastic for back health, and it's amazing for longevity.